20 memorable quotes from film Samson and Delilah, 1949. Samson and Delilah, 1949, directed by Cecil B. DeMille, is a visually stunning biblical epic that retells the Old Testament story of Samson, the divinely chosen hero of Israel, and Delilah, the woman who betrays him. Starring Victor Mature as Samson and Hedy Lamarr as Delilah, the film explores themes of love, betrayal, faith, and redemption. Samson's immense strength, gifted by God, allows him to defeat Israel's enemies, the Philistines. However, his love for the seductive Delilah becomes his undoing, as she discovers the secret of his power, his uncut hair, and betrays him to the Philistines. Blinded and enslaved, Samson ultimately finds redemption through faith, regaining his strength to destroy the Philistine temple in a powerful climax. Samson, Victor Mature, and quote, strength without faith is just brute force, and quote, I fight not for power, but for freedom, and quote, you can break my body, but my spirit belongs to God, and quote, the secret of my strength is not mine to give, and quote, even in my darkest hour, I will serve the Lord, and quote, I was chosen to be a judge of Israel, not a slave to my desires, and quote, Delilah, Hedy Lamarr, and quote, love and hate are two horns on the same goat, and quote, why should I love the man who caused me to betray my people, and quote, your strength may conquer nations, Samson, but it cannot conquer me, and quote, I would rather have your love and betray the world than have the world and lose you, and quote, what is love, if not the power to destroy or to save, and quote, the gods have given me beauty, Samson, but you've shown me its curse. Delilah, you love him. Women cannot deceive each other. It is in your face when you look at him. You want him for yourself. Miriam. Yes, I love him. In his face, I see all that is strong and good. His name is like a cry of hope for us. I've dreamed that someday Samson would take me for his wife. But he's never looked upon me as a woman. Delilah, his face, his name, shadows on the wall. You think that is love? You worship him with prayers and downcast eyes. I love him as a man of flesh and blood. Miriam, he is not leaving you for me. There is a higher voice that speaks through him, and he will always answer its call. Even your treacherous beauty cannot turn him from it. Delilah, I cannot fight against his God, but no woman will take him from me. Samson, you came to this house as wedding guests. Fire and death are your gifts to my bride. For all that I do against you now, I shall be blameless. I'll give you back fire for fire, and death for death. Teresh, out of the strong came forth sweetness. Ha, the fruit of the date palm. The tree is strong, and the fruit is sweet. Semadar, Teresh, what on earth you feed date palms to make them eaters? Samson, your arms were quicksand. Your kiss was death. The name Delilah will be an everlasting curse on the lips of men. Delilah, you love him. Women cannot deceive each other. It is in your face when you look at him. You want him for yourself. Miriam, yes, I love him. In his face, I see all that is strong and good. His name is like a cry of hope for us. I've dreamed that someday Samson would take me for his wife. But he's never looked upon me as a woman. Delilah, his face, his name, shadows on the wall. You think that is love. You worship him with prayers and downcast eyes. I love him as a man of flesh and blood. Miriam, he is not leaving you for me. There is a higher voice that speaks through him, and he will always answer its call. Even your treacherous beauty cannot turn him from it. Delilah, I cannot fight against his God, but no woman will take him from me. Samson, Miriam, you're further above me than the moon. Miriam, but not as hard to reach. Only stretch out your hand. Samson, I don't want to hurt you, Miriam. You're like a sparrow, so gentle and… Miriam, that's a very gentle way of telling me that you're in love with someone else. Samson, you always see through people as if they were cobwebs. Miriam, I hear you saw a woman in Timnath. Samson, yes, and I can't forget her. Miriam, you did the same with me. I can't forget you. Delilah, I can. I can. Round and round, day after day, month after month. He never stops. I'm being crushed like the grain beneath the stone. This night must end sometime. Oh God of Samson, help me. He said you are everywhere, that you are almighty. Hear me? Give back the light to his eyes. Take my sight for his. Oh God of Samson, help me. First lines, narrator. Before the dawn of history, ever since the first man discovered his soul, he has struggled against the forces that sought to enslave him. He saw the awful power of nature rage against him. The evil eye of the lightning, the terrifying voice of the thunder, the shrieking, wind-filled darkness enslaving his mind with shackles of fear, fear-bred superstition, blinding his reason. He was ridden by a host of devil gods. Human dignity perished on the altar of idolatry, and tyranny arose, grinding the human spirit beneath the conqueror's heel. But deep in man's heart still burned the unquenchable will for freedom. When this divine spark flames in the soul of some mortal, whether priest or soldier, artist or patriot, lover or statesman, his deeds have changed the course of human events and his name survives the ages. In the village of Zorah, in the land of Dan, 1,000 years before the birth of Christ, lived such a man. In him, the elements had fused greatness and weakness, strength and folly. But with these was a bold dream, liberty for his nation. The man's name was Samson. For 40 years the Philistines had held his people in bondage.